Hi there, Rob Gray back again from ionizers.review.com. You know, last year I released a video to the internet comparing at the time the top 3 water ionizers: the Jupiter Aquarius, the Enagic SD501, and the Tyent MNP 5050. Since then we've received thousands of emails from people all across the world thanking us for our objective contribution to the ionizer industry, but also at the same time asking us to take a more in-depth look at some of the newer models that are being released. So here today we're going to take a few moments to take a look at some of the new hot models that have just recently hit the market here in the United States. The first ionizer we'll explore here today is the new Life Ionizer 7500. Now the 7500 is Life's latest addition to its ionizer lineup. It includes 7 plates, some of those mesh, an SMPS power system, and a controversial UV light option which we'll discuss in further detail a little later. The second ionizer we'll review here today is the new Tyent USA MMP 7070. Now with the trend-setting Tyent 7070, not much has changed on the outside except for the addition of a few new colors and gloss finishes. The unit still features the 55 programmable acidic and alkaline levels. Inside, however, a significant upgrade now in the 7070. The model now features 7 mesh plates instead of the original 5. And the final model we'll review here today is the new Ionways Athena. Now Jupiter ventures into the multi-level marketing arena with the new Athena. The pictures look great, but at 18 pounds, personally I find it a little bit bulky and awkward as it sits on the countertop. Now before we begin our comparison tests, there are 2 things that I'd like to call your attention to that you may have noticed. First, the Enagic product is not represented here today. At this point, we've already decided that the Enagic is a well-performing machine, and most people now finally have realized that there's no difference between Kangen or Kangen water and alkaline ionized water. We also realize now that the high price of the unit is there basically to justify the cost and expense of operating the multi-level marketing program. The challenge that Enagic has is that they've campaigned against things like dual filtration systems, SMPS power, and mesh plates for so long that it gives them virtually no place to go in the marketplace to develop a new product. Secondly, I'd like to point out that I'm not a doctor. I'm not wearing a lab coat, and there are no initials after my name, and we're not even in the lab. My goal here today is to replicate conditions that can be found in an average home, that an average person can replicate by themselves under controlled circumstances and with good equipment. Some manufacturers have recently released so-called independent videos, so stay tuned for my next video, which is called Dirty Tricks with Clean Water, where we'll expose the bogus and copycat review sites and video comparisons that exist now. We'll highlight the 5 most manipulative sales tactics that manufacturers use to cost you more money. Take the time to watch the video, as it'll certainly save you hundreds of dollars and hours of research. The video can be found in the Seeing is Believing section of ionizers.review.com. All 3 of the machines that we use here today are brand new, and they're each set to perform at their highest possible setting. Again, they're all connected to the exact same source water at the exact same time. You'll see the water go into the cups without cuts or any fast forwards. And now for the comparison of our featured ionizers, the Life Ionizer 7500, the Tyent MMP 7070, and the Ionways Athena. But first, a few notes about our testing environment. The first thing to consider is that today we're using brand new, never before used cups as our samples. We'll place them down over here in our pH test area. The second thing to consider is that from this moment forward, we will not have any video cuts or changes in the screen that are edited. What that very simply means is that we will use multiple camera angles. So whatever you see happening down here in the pH test area is also at the same time happening up here in the corner of your screen. In this way we can ensure the validity of the results, because any movement that you see here will also be replicated up here. Now we will change those screens and flip them so that you can see exactly what's happening specifically in the pH test area. However, when we do those flips, we will do them one at a time, so you see the transition specifically between the pH test area and our general ionizer area over here. In a moment, we'll turn each ionizer on and give it a few moments to start up. Our pH meter right now is sitting in the 7.01 calibration solution, and if it's within a couple hundred percentage points of that 7.01, then it works within our test circumstances here today. After we collect our pH alkaline water samples, we will also collect a source water sample so that we can test the pH of the source water to identify exactly where we're starting here today for our ionized water tests. After we conduct each test, we'll very briefly rinse the pH meter in the source water to remove any excess alkalinity and move on to the next alkaline water test sample. So to begin, we'll engage the Athena. And again, we're turning each one of these units on its highest level of alkaline water, the Tyent MMP 7070 and also the Light 7500. We'll give each unit a few moments to get started and then we'll collect our samples. First, we'll collect our sample from the Ionways Athena. Second, from the Tyent MMP 7070. Third, and finally, from the Light 7500. Return it to the pH test area and turn off the unit. And we'll also collect a sample of our source water. Alright, we'll return it to the pH test area where our solution is still calibrating somewhere right around 7.01. Again, off by a few hundred percentage is okay within our test criteria. And now we'll test the pH of our source water. See a quick jump there to 7.2, 7.27. We'll give each sample about 15 to 20 seconds to register. We'll check the pH and ORP value, and then we'll continue to the next sample. Turn our meter back on here. And it looks like our source water is pretty neutral, right around 7.4, 7.45, in that area. And now for our first sample from the Life Ionizer 7500. See a quick jump all the way up to 10.13, 10.2, 10.25. We'll check the RP value. Coming in at a negative 166.7, 167.4 negative, 167.5. Give it a few more moments here to register. Go back and collect our final pH result and move on to the Tyent. Negative 167.8. Continuing back to our pH, it's coming in at a 10.29, 10.3. And we'll briefly rinse it again in our source water. And now we'll move on to the Tyent MMP 7070. Registers a quick jump there to 10.57, 10.62, 10.63. We'll switch over to our ORP ratings, and it registers at a negative 188.2. Give the Tyent a few more moments to register. 188.3 negative. We'll switch back to pH. And it looks like it's going to finish up right around at 10.65 on the pH scale. And again, we'll rinse our pH testing equipment in our source water, neutralize the alkaline content, and finish up with the Ionways Athena. 9.99. 10.02, 10.03, and we'll switch over to our ORP range, which is a negative 152.7, 152.3, so right around the 152 area. And we'll switch back over to our pH again, which is right at the 10.02 to conclude the test for the Ionways Athena. So what have we learned again? Well, as expected, the 5 mesh plates in the Ionways Athena seem to be falling a little bit short in its relative comparison to the Tyent 7070 which is ahead of the pack again, and we think that's because of the increased surface area of the 7 mesh plates, which are larger, as we'll explore in a future video, which can be found in the Seeing is Believing section of ionizersreview.com. And a valiant effort from the new machine from Life Ionizers, the 7500. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.